zayo ni inama yitabiriwe n'abarenga ibihumbi bibiri muri rusange bakaba barimo abahagarariye za guverinoma zitandukanye hirya no hino ku isi abakora mu bigo by'itumanaho ndetse n'abandi muri rusange iyi nama ikaba yiga ku ikoreshwa rya za telefone na serivisi zayo ese izasigira iki u Rwanda izasigira iki abayitabiriye muri rusange kugira ngo dusobanukirwe n'izo ngingo turi kumwe n'umuyobozi wungirije Josephine Nyiranzeyimana akaba ari umuyobozi wungirije mu kigo cy'igihugu gishinzwe ikoranabuhanga mu itumanaho ndetse n'isakaza bumenyi tubahaye ikaze kuri televiziyo Rwanda.
Murakoze cyane.
Twari dukomojeho ko iyi nama yitabiriwe n'abarenga ibihumbi bibiri baje kwiga ku bijyanye n'ikoreshwa rya za telefone ndetse na serivisi zayo. Ngira ngo mwabanza kuduha uburemere bw'iyi nama.
Murakoze cyane. Nk'uko mwabigarutseho iyi ni inama ikomeye yiga ku ikoreshwa ry'ikoranabuhanga rigendanwa ubwo ni ibijyanye na mobile technologies ikaba ubusanzwe yaberaga mu gihugu cya Espagne mu mujyi wa Barcelona ariko kuri ubu ni ubwa mbere ibereye muri Afurika aho ibereye bwa mbere i Kigali. Ni inama rero yitabirwa n'abayobozi mu by'ikoranabuhanga rigendanwa ndetse n'ikoranabuhanga muri rusange yitabirwa n'abayobozi bashinzwe ikoranabuhanga mu bihugu bitandukanye abarikoramo abikorera ku rwego rukomeye ku rwego rw'isi inganda ndetse n'abashakashatsi cyane cyane kandi n'abahimba udushya tujyanye n'ikoranabuhanga rigendanwa.
Kuri inshuro twavuga ko inama ifite ubuhe mwihariko birumvikana ikoranabuhanga ni urwego rwagutse.
Umwihariko w'inama icya mbere nuko ibereye muri Afurika bwa mbere i Kigali mu Rwanda. Icya kabiri Afurika ni umugabane uri kugenda ukura kandi mu mikurire yawo urifashisha cyane ikoranabuhanga iyo turebye uburyo ibihugu bitandukanye bigenda bigerageza kuribyaza umusaruro mu buryo bwo kwihutisha iterambere ni ikintu gikomeye kandi noneho by'umwihariko iterambere ry'ikoranabuhanga rigendanwa bigaragara ko ryihuse muri Afurika kurusha ku yindi migabane bityo bigafasha Afurika kwihuta mu iterambere ry'ikoranabuhanga. Aho rero n'urugero turarufite hano mu Rwanda iyo urebye igihe cyabayeho abantu badashobora gutunga telefone iwabo mu rugo hari telefone zikoresha imigozi uyu munsi biroroshye cyane ko ahantu hose wajya mu Rwanda ushobora gusanga umuntu utunze telefone igendanwa biturutse ku buryo ikoranabuhanga ryabashije kwihutisha kugeza ibyo bikorwa remezo kuri bose. By'umwihariko rero mu Rwanda ni amahirwe akomeye binagaragara ko urebye ukuntu abantu barikoresha mu buzima bwa buri munsi guhererekanya amafaranga ndetse n'itumanaho risanzwe biradufasha cyane mu iterambere.
Inama tugana wenda ku musozo ari naho ntangiro birumvikana w'inama ni bike abantu bayitegamo ni izihe nyungu by'umwihariko ku Rwanda ariko muri rusange n'abayitabiriye bari butahane nyuma y'iyi minsi igiye kumara bari hano muri Convention Center.
Yego nk'uko mwabigarutseho iyi nama ni ingenzi cyane iraba guhera uyu munsi tariki 25 izasoza ku itariki 27 irabera hano i Kigali muri Convention Center. Ni inama yitabiriwe n'abantu baturutse imihanda yose y'isi harimo abayobozi b'ikoranabuhanga mu bihugu bitandukanye abayobozi mu bigo bikomeye bikora ubucuruzi bw'ikoranabuhanga ndetse n'itumanaho ry'iyakure. Abo bose baje kugira ngo bakomeze kuganira ku bibazo ndetse no ku mahirwe ahari mu gukoresha ikoranabuhanga rigendanwa kugira ngo rigere kuri bose kandi rifashe mu gukomeza kwihutisha iterambere. Aha rero nabwira abanyarwanda ko ari amahirwe akomeye kuko ari abari mu bucuruzi bw'ikoranabuhanga bafite amahirwe yo guhura nabo baturutse hirya no hino ku isi baje gutahura amahirwe ari hano mu Rwanda. Ni akanya keza rero ko kugira ngo babereke ibikorwa byabo ariko banabonereho kubaka imikoranire ishobora gutuma ibikorwa byabo bigera kure. Ikindi dufite ababiga ikoranabuhanga bagerageza kurikoramo ubushakashatsi abo bose ni akanya kugira ngo bumve ibitekerezo bishya ndetse n'uburyo ibibazo byugarije abantu muri rusange mu buryo bwo kugera ku ikoranabuhanga no kubasha kurikora neza bigenda bishakirwa ibisubizo nabo babe bakunganira mu gutanga umusanzu kugira ngo ibyo bigende neza. Ikindi abatari mu ikoranabuhanga bari abafite serivisi zitandukanye batanga, abanyamahoteli, abatanga serivisi za transport. Aba bashyitsi bose baba bari i Kigali mu Rwanda, barifuza gusura u Rwanda, barifuza kumenya ibyiza bitatse u Rwanda. Ni amahirwe kugira ngo mubahe serivisi nziza kandi mubashoboze kugera no hirya ya Kigali, basura u Rwanda, batahe bishimye, ariko kandi babasigire umusaruro, kuko natwe kwakiriye inama tuzi neza ko bigira umusaruro urenze kuba abantu baganira ibijyanye n'iyo nama gusa, kuko harimo n'amahirwe ku bashoramari n'abikorera muri rusange.
Turabashimiye cyane.
Murakoze cyane.
Ngira ngo amatsiko mufite kuri iyi nama ibereye bwa mbere ku mugabane wa Afurika, birumvikana no mu Rwanda, ni menshi, ariko agiye gushira, kuko ubwo abayobozi bakuru baza kuba bageze muri iki cyumba Kigali cya Convention Center, inama itangira. Tubahaye ikaze rero.
Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda. Thank you. You may take your seats. May we have your attention to the screen as we play the opening video. Thank you.
Today, we're looking at the world in a new light. And with our different perspectives, we can accelerate opportunities to create value that lasts. How will you take advantage of the connections you make this week? How will you see connectivity unleashed? As the boundaries blur between online and real life, we continue to rely on digital innovation and connectivity to transform our world. From the metaverse and NFTs to connected devices and IoT, this year's MWC themes will spark bold new ideas to create a positive future. As an industry, we pave the way for transformation and find new ways to help other industries innovate. And now, together, we continue our exciting 5G journey, delivering on our industry's commitments to tackle the mobile internet usage gap and reducing our industry's carbon footprint, creating a better future for all. Because together, we will unlock the full power of connectivity so that people, industry, and society thrive. This week, in our iconic host city, we will put our convictions to work. For our businesses, for our next generation of leaders, and for the world. Are you ready?
Thank you and welcome everybody. I'd like to welcome to the stage the Rwanda ICT Minister. She has been spearheading efforts in the country towards bridging the digital divide, and she has done a phenomenal job in doing so. The GSMA is extremely proud and thankful for the efforts that she has made in what we see today. We are witnessing the work of the power of technology here today. We thank you very much all, and we say, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Minister Paula Ingabire.
Your Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, the Director General of GSMA, Mats Granyard, Honorable Ministers, Ambassadors, Captains of Industry, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm delighted to welcome our visitors to Rwanda, at least for those that have traveled from different parts of the world to be here with us today, and for every one of you that is present this morning to the Mobile World Congress Africa 2022 conference. Let me start by thanking you, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, for your continued vision and leadership to accelerate the digital transformation agenda in Rwanda and in Africa at large. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen present, please also accept my sincere thank you for being here today and over the next few days. I wish to use a few seconds to recognize ministers from 4 countries that joined us here this morning. A minister from Congo-Brazza, Leo Juste Ibombo. Minister from Guinea, Osman Diallo. Minister from Uganda, Dr. Chris Bariomunsi. And the Minister of Somalia, if he has already made it here this morning, Ahmed Osman Deri, the Minister of State from Somalia. But also to welcome all the representatives from the 99 countries that are here with us today. Your presence, especially during the hectic last quarter of the year, is a clear testament of the importance and commitment you have towards supporting Africa's agenda of mobile-enabled transformation and connectivity, and we don't take this for granted. Over the next 3 days, we gather here to assess and recommit to our collective responsibility to deliver an inclusive, secure, and sustainable future for our people. We've always had strong themes for Mobile World Congress Africa and Mobile World Congress at large, but I'm sure that this year's themes resonate much more strongly to all of us present as they are urgent and current issues that we are grappling with today. We'll be discussing largely what it's going to take for all of us in our different capacities to close the mobile internet usage gap. We'll look at how we can leverage digital technologies to build climate-resilient economies, but also through the Policy Leaders Forum, where we'll challenge ourselves to put in place forward-looking and enabling policies. As we launch multiple reports today and during the course of the week, what we're going to see is shocking statistics that we're leaving a large part and half of Africa behind. And I hope that for the next 3 days, we will not only focus on possibilities, but rather channel the shock into action. Imagine an Africa where half of our people are left behind as the world moves strongly into the digital future, building digital economies that benefit them. Imagine an Africa becoming less competitive as we fail to work together to solve for the challenges facing us on the path to prosperity in our collective digital future. This is the Africa we cannot be in tomorrow. We need to work together hand in hand within our national boundaries, our regional cooperation initiatives, and within our global cooperation frameworks as well. With these few remarks, I wish you fruitful engagements and discussions in the Mobile World Congress Africa 22, and I hope that over the next 3 days you also find time to enjoy what we have for you in Kigali and the rest of the parts of Rwanda when you do have a chance, and it's our pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Please welcome to the stage Mats Granyard, the GSMA's Director General. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Angela, and thank you, Honourable Minister, for those inspiring words. Your Excellency, Honourable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to the first ever MWC in Africa. You know what? I think that is worthy an applaud. It is such an honor to be here with you today, and thank you, Your Excellency, for your kind invitation and hosting us here this week. And thank you also to our founding partners, MasterCard, MTN, Orange, and ZTE, and our mobile partner, Safaricom, for your support in making this happen. Now, I thought I would start with a story today. And on the screen behind me, this is Fortini. I hope. There we have her, Fortini. She's a nurse who has benefited from some of the work with our partners a few years ago. It is a favorite story of mine because it really demonstrates the transformational impact that access to mobile has. So you see, for many years, Fortini had to turn away patients that came to her clinic after dark, because obviously it's not very safe to treat the patient if it's dark and you can't see what you're doing. But when her father, Paddy, suggested a pay-as-you-go solar energy system powered by mobile money, everything changed. And today, Fortini is able to treat patients any time of the day or night. Her clinic is also the only clinic for several kilometers around. So this is a huge game changer for her and her community. It means that more people have access to healthcare when they need it the most. So the community is getting healthier, and more people are able to earn a living, and the rating of the overall well-being is increasing. So you can see there's a positive cycle that starts to emerge. More connectivity, more well-being, more earnings. Fortini's demonstrates just how powerful access to mobile connectivity is. And of course, this is just one story, and across Africa, there are millions more of these stories, which is why it's so important to have events like this. Because it gives us an opportunity to share the incredible innovations taking place across the continent with you, the leaders in this room, guiding the way. Together, we need to make sure that we're working towards building a better and more resilient future for everyone. That means that leaving no one, and I mean no one, behind, as Paula Ingabir said. It is a big responsibility, no doubt, but it's also a wonderful privilege. Over the past 2 decades, mobile growth across sub-Saharan Africa has been absolutely phenomenal. By the end of last year, there were more than 500 million subscribing to mobile services, and that's roughly 46% of the population. By 2025, that number will grow to 600 million subscribers. To 600 million subscribers. And we have a big impact on the economy as well. Now, globally, the mobile industry contributes some 5% to the global GDP, and that's $4.5 trillion US. If we would be a country, we would be just after Japan, but well before Germany. So we will be the 4th largest country in the world. It's quite a substantial amount of money. In sub-Saharan Africa, the mobile technology contributes some 8% to the local GDP, which is almost $140 billion US in 2021. And that is expected to grow to $150 billion by 2025. Huge economic impact. Add to this that the mobile ecosystem supports roughly 3.2 million jobs directly and indirectly. So the impact is clear, and there is much more room for growth and investments. The numbers are really exciting, but what is even more exciting is the potential that lies behind each number. You see, mobile connectivity has this massive enablement effect. In Fortini's story, her Ready Pay solar kit was only made possible by solar energy business, by partnering with a mobile operator, and in a country that was ready with mobile money and easy accessible to mobile money. Across Africa, as more businesses are being connected, we're seeing many more of these examples where partnerships between business sectors drive growth. So, as an example, this morning, let me invite on stage Nompilo Morafo from MTN, just to show us what I'm talking about. Nompilo, please come up. So, MTN is a big player in the continent. You are a powerhouse in Africa. So could you please tell us a bit about partnerships and innovation and how you work with that?
Thank you so much, Matt, and thank you for having us this morning. Your Excellency, ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. MTN is a Pan-African organization operating across 18 markets, 17 of which are in the African continent. As we bring more people online, businesses and people alike who are connected, we are very clear that it provides empowerment. The story that has just been shared by Matt is a testimony to this. We are seeing an increased number of businesses asking for opportunities on how to connect their businesses even remotely, meaning even in rural areas, which is very important because if we're not going to leave anyone behind, we need to make sure that all our communities are included. Providing a quality broadband network is essential, but like we have read in the GSMA report for 2022, it's not enough. There are various interventions that companies like MTN need to look at to make sure that everyone is connected. So I have my colleagues here with me today, and I hope in the next coming few days, we're going to be demonstrating some of the initiatives that we're involved in, such as how to increase access to devices, how to help people with affordable data, relevant services so that they stay connected, as well as education. This afternoon, MTN will be launching MTN Skills Academy. It's something that we're very proud of. We've been working on it with some of our partners like Smart Africa that's here today. So the intention of this is to make sure that young people across the continent are producers, innovators of digital technologies. We should not be resting and making sure that our children and the youth in Africa are only consumers of digital technology. They should be able to increase access to jobs by being educated. We should also make sure that they can create their own employment for their communities, similar to the case study that we've just seen today. So it's something that we're very proud of. We hope everyone can join us, we can accommodate at the event today.
Super.
So lastly, in closing, Matt, I just wanted to say that we need partners. I think companies like MTN cannot do it alone. Companies like any other company, we cannot do it alone. Governments cannot go through this journey by themselves. We need to make sure that true collaboration really enhance digital economies across the continent. Thank you.
Super. Thank you very much, Nompilo. Well done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you're right, partnerships is just critical to make this happen, and I hope you have a great week coming. So you see, mobile connectivity is really bringing endless potential to all business sectors, from healthcare to education to manufacturing to financial services. Yes, mobile connectivity is really driving growth. And this year we have seen a turning point where 3G adoption is now starting to slow down. 4G is taking off, paving the way for a fantastic 5G launch in coming years. Today we're actually launching our 5G Africa report, showcasing the benefits that that technology can bring to the region, including a 26 billion uplift of GDP between now and 2030. The report showcases how 5G activities are picking up across the region, including spectrum auctions, pilots, commercial tries, to be developed by local relevant 5G use cases. It is really exciting, which is why it's absolutely crucial, because local entrepreneurs and innovators understand the context and the challenges, and that they can build solutions that actually will work. So the opportunity here is huge. And of the 100 million new subscribers that will come online in the next year, many will be young people. They are tech savvy. They are unafraid of the latest technology. They're also brave to try new business models. Absolutely. But we still have one major challenge, and that is what Honorable Minister spoke about. That is the usage gap. Globally, just under half of the world's population is not connected to online, and that is 3.6 billion people. Now, that 3.6 billion is made up of two bits. First is 400 million people. That is the coverage gap. That is people living outside of any areas of mobile broadband coverage. That's 400 million. And then there's the 3.2 billion people that live beneath a mobile broadband coverage, but they choose not to use the service. They choose not to use mobile broadband. And we call that the usage gap. Now, the good news is over the past 5 years, the coverage gap has been significantly reduced. And so has the usage gap to some extent, but it still remains substantial, almost 8 times the size of the coverage gap. But in sub-Saharan Africa, almost 40% of the adult population are now using mobile internet service. Before the pandemic, that was 35%. So yes, we have definitely seen good progress and good growth, but there is still so much more work to be done. Reducing the usage gap is a serious business opportunity. To give you a good example of this, let me invite on stage Gerald Otim from Nsibuku. Now, Nsibuku is a company that works with digital financial inclusion, and also Nsibuku, hi Gerald, welcome on stage. Nsibuku is a company that was founded by GSMA Innovation Fund as a startup, supported by the UK FCDO. So, Gerald, please.
Thank you, Matt. Ladies and gentlemen, it's difficult to tell the story of the work that I do without actually telling my story. I was raised in a small village east of Uganda by a single mother. In 2002, my mother and 30 other women in our village started a savings group. The goal, to provide financial services in a village where banks couldn't reach. It is shameful that today, 20 years later, half of Africa's population still has no formal bank account, not even a mobile money account. We started in Nsibuku to improve access to financial services for people in excluded communities. We do this through savings groups. And it starts first by delivering a mobile device to the group. And then we partner with a trusted leader of the group to digitize the group and then teach digital skills to their peers. And when the group is ready, we provide microloans, microinsurance, and mobile payments in partnership with mobile operators. We do this now for over 2,000 groups, 250,000 beneficiaries. And one group, one village at a time, we are helping bring excluded communities into the mainstream. Thank you.
Brilliant, Gerald. Super, well done. So isn't that just fantastic? That's just one example of so many opportunities that exist within this space. So as you walk around MWC Africa this week, you will see that and many, many more. For many people, mobile is the only way to get online. And so we need to focus on addressing the key usage barriers: affordability, literacy, digital skills, and developing local relevant content in local languages. And of course, there is a gender aspect here as well. In sub-Saharan Africa, women are 37% less likely than men to use mobile internet. And this gender gap remains relatively unchanged. So the pandemic has accelerated digitization. And so today, many more than ever before, we have to make sure that everyone has access to mobile internet and can benefit from all that it offers. Innovations like mobile money, pay-as-you-go solar energy systems, agri-tech systems, education apps, and so many more are already transforming the lives of millions of people across the continent. And Rwanda has been an incredible leader in prioritizing digital acceleration for all its citizens. And I look forward to speaking with His Excellency about this in a little while. Africa stands at a unique moment in time. Over the past 2 decades, we have seen, maybe more clearly than anywhere else in the world, the true transformational power of mobile connectivity. Today, 46% of the population is connected, and by 2025, 50% will be connected. Imagine what Africa will look like when everyone is connected. And so back to this room, back to the leaders in this room. As you walk around MWC Africa this week, ask yourself, what goals are you setting? What innovations are you dreaming of? What partnerships are you building that will unleash the true transformational power of connectivity across Africa and build a better future that will truly benefit us all? Thank you so much, and warm welcome to MWC Africa. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Rwanda has been in the forefront of prioritizing and driving digital transformation and acceleration of all its citizens. And leading the way has been His Excellency President, His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda. So it is my great honor to welcome His Excellency on stage. Your Excellency, please welcome.
Seated. Mass Director General of GSMA, senior officials and business leaders, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure to be joining you for the opening of the first in-person Mobile World Congress Africa. I welcome you all to Rwanda. We are very pleased to host you. I wish to thank GSMA for choosing our country as the venue for this year's conference. Digital technologies are a catalytic force for development in Africa. Yet, almost half of adults in low and middle income countries do not have access to the internet, even when living in areas with broadband coverage. Digital infrastructure is key, but it's not enough. To leverage the potential of connectivity, investments in digital skills and literacy must be integrated in our national policies. In Rwanda, with the support of the private sector, Kigali Innovation City aims to develop a competitive and productive workforce and conducive environment for startups. Africa is home to creative and tech-savvy youth looking for the right platform to contribute solutions. We cannot afford to reduce them to a statistic only or sit idly by as they seek opportunity outside of Africa. Our young people have a lot to offer. We must do our part and keep our promise. to them. Significant strides have been made on the continent to accelerate the digital transformation through initiatives spearheaded by the African Union and Smart Africa, among others. However, to leave no one behind, we must create a more enabling legal and regulatory environment. However, to leave no one behind means a number of things as well, and we must recognize that digital transformation is not a zero-sum game where progress must come at the expense of the most vulnerable. Not at all. Everyone, regardless of status, gender, or nationality, must benefit if we want to create lasting change. Universal and meaningful connectivity for all can be a springboard for the full implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. This is less about leapfrogging legacy systems and more about digitizing faster and taking full ownership in building the Africa we want, because we can, all of us together. Everywhere in the world, emerging technologies are shaping our economic future, as well as the conditions for peace and security. To speed up prosperity, technology has to go hand in hand with good governance. I trust that you will take this message with you throughout the conference. Once again, welcome to Rwanda. I wish you a very productive meeting and a pleasant stay in our country. I thank you for your kind attention.
So, well, thank you very much, Your Excellency. That was very inspiring. This is not the first time you're giving a speech.
Certainly not.
So I was thinking about talking around your leadership, positioning Rwanda as one of the spearheading nations in East Africa, in Africa, and possibly in the globe. If we talk about the usage gap, the connectivity that still needs to be done, I know that Rwanda is the first in East African, is regarded as the first in East African community on network readiness and fifth in Africa. Good 4G LTE coverage. We have 3 major broadband pipes in Rwanda. If you could take us through what are the key learnings in achieving that? That would sort of be the coverage gap a bit.
Well, first of all, we have to think of investing in a number of things. One is the human capital has to be developed. We have to invest in digital infrastructure and connectivity as well, and make a deliberate effort to forge even these partnerships that will actually bridge that usage gap. Because as earlier said by somebody, none in the private sector or in public sector or any country has all that is required to cover this. So the partnerships have to be deliberate. And then we have to go to the very people, and again, the two young previous speakers mentioned this. How do you draw in deliberately the very people, give them the skills, the literacy that is required, and also around that there will be a purpose for them to really be attracted to what you are doing with them. So the message has to be constant, has to be clear, and that is how we have been going about it, and again with the wider partnerships, as I mentioned.
So partnerships is clearly, and I think our previous speaker spoke also around the public-private partnership, how important that is. And I guess, now I'm asking you a question again around the usage gap, I guess that's one of the key activities that we should address when trying to bridge the usage gap. Would that be fair?
That would be, I mean, that is the meaning of it. That's how it happens. That's what we have to address. Otherwise, if you don't address it that way, you may make good investments, but that will not translate into solutions for the millions or billions of people who have to utilize this to improve their lives and transform their lives.
And I think I tried to explain the enablement effect, that mobile connectivity is just enabling other businesses to thrive, and I think you described that, and I think that's why the public-private partnership is equally important, because it affects the whole of society. It affects me as a person, it affects my business. So it is really a positive cycle that we can start to see emerge.
It really creates the whole ecosystem that is required for the transformation of society and for people to thrive. One thing leads to another, and once you have touched the different aspects of this problem, then you start beginning to see people interested, people getting to use the digital tools that are before them.
And if I may ask, where do you see the next steps? Imagine us being now at 2025, 600 million people are connected in Africa. 2027 might be 700 million, etc. What is more required now to make that happen?
You know, we have to, as you see across the continent, you see that the leaders, the political leaders of countries, the companies are saying about the same thing that is right to say. What follows and should follow is now to do the right thing, connecting with saying the right thing. And you see across Africa the efforts being applied. The message has to be accompanied with real actions that people have to see take place, and therefore be able to see the results that they can also be measured. I see that people across Africa and beyond are beginning to understand that it's not enough to just have the digital infrastructure. As we have learned that just last year alone, about 1 billion people lived in proximity to broadband network. But were actually not using the internet. So the message has to be that of linking up things in a logical manner that gives you the results you want. You make investments in infrastructure, and you, like we are trying to do in our country here, I'm sure other countries are doing it or even better. Train people, give them the digital literacy that is required so that they are able to now utilize the digital infrastructure that has been invested in, and then stop that phenomenon where so many are living near the infrastructure but are not making good use of it. So there has to be always a message of trying to link up things so that they work to the benefit of our society.
No, it makes a lot of sense what Your Excellency is saying, making sure that we take action of our words to make it actually happen. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for hosting us here. Thank you so much for inviting us to beautiful Kigali. And I hope that we will have the opportunity to come back many more times.
Anytime, you're all welcome.
Thank you. They thought
timed and switched off.
Now we're back on now.
I just wanted to say, don't be compelled to go back home immediately after the conference. You can stay for as long as you wish after that.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, with these remarks, this brings us to the close of the keynote session. Thank you all for your attention, for your participation. MWC Africa is only beginning, and we invite you to remain with us for the rest of the sessions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain upstanding as His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, exits the auditorium. I request you all to exit the auditorium from your left exit. Thank you. My badge. Thank you. I'll leave you.
Inshuti bakunzi ba televiziyo Rwanda, mukomeje gukurikira gahunda zitandukanye zayo, aho turi muri Convention Center hakomeje inama yiga ku ikoreshwa rya telefone ndetse na serivisi zayo, imaze gutangizwa ku mugaragaro na Perezida wa Repubulika Paul Kagame, watangije inama yitabiriwe n'abarenga ibihumbi 2 kabigiye kumara iminsi 3 hano muri Kigali Convention Center. Umukuru w'igihugu Paul Kagame akaba avuga ko kugira ngo ikoranabuhanga ritange umusaruro nyawe rikwiye kugendana n'imiyoborere myiza. Avuga ko ntawe ukwiye gutandukanya ikoranabuhanga ndetse n'imiyoborere myiza, ko ari ibintu bibiri magirirane byuzanya kugira ngo bibashe kugera kuri benshi kandi bose. Umukuru w'igihugu rero akaba avuga ko uru rwego rw'ikoranabuhanga rumaze kugaragara nk'inkingi ya mwamba, rukwiye kongerwamo imbaraga kugira ngo rubashe kugera kuri bose ntawe usigaye inyuma. Agaragaza ko muri Afurika hari byinshi bimaze gukorwa, birimo nko gushyiraho ibikorwa remezo ndetse no gutanga ubumenyi, ariko bitaragera ku rwego rushimishije. Ashingiye kuri ibi, umukuru w'igihugu yatanze urugero ko ibikorwa remezo atari byo byonyine bikenewe, ibikorwa remezo by'ikoranabuhanga kugira ngo ribashe kugera kuri bose ndetse ribashe gutanga umusaruro ukwiye. Yagaragaje ko abarenga miliyari umwaka ushize bari baturiye umuyoboro mugari wa internet ariko batabashaga kuyikoresha. Ibyo rero bikagaragaza ko ibikorwa remezo bishyirwaho bikwiye kujyana no kwigisha abantu kugira ngo babashe gukoresha iryo koranabuhanga. Shingiye kuri ibi kandi havuga ko za guverinoma zikwiriye kongera imbaraga muri urwego kugira ngo umubare w'abakoresha ikoranabuhanga urushaho kwiyongera. Umukuru w'igihugu kandi yongeye kwibutsa abakiri bato ko byinshi byakozwe ndetse hari n'ibindi bikomeje gukorwa, ko ari ahabo rero ho kubyaza umusaruro aya mahirwe bashyirirwaho kugira ngo bagaragaze ibyo bashoboye muri urwego rw'ikoranabuhanga, birimo guhanga ibishya bitanga ibisubizo muri sosiyete baturukamo by'umwihariko iza Afurika, kugira ngo uru rwego rw'ikoranabuhanga rutange umusaruro wifuzwa, rube urutanga ibisubizo ku bibazo bikibangamiye uyu mugabane wa Afurika. Twabibutsa ko ababarirwa mu bihumbi 200 aribo bitabiriye inama, bakaba baturutse mu mpande zose z'isi, bakaba bazamara iminsi 3 birumvikana baganira ku ikoreshwa rya telefone ndetse na za serivisi zayo. Tubibutse ko inama iteranye mu gihe urwego rw'igihugu rushinzwe urwego rw'igihugu ngenzuramikorere RURA rugaragaza ko abafatabuguzi ba telefone muri Kanama muri 2021 no kuvuga umwaka ushize bageraga kuri miliyoni 11 n'ibihumbi 87 n'abantu 928 mu Rwanda. No kuvuga ko mu baturage 100 nibura abagera kuri 85 n'ibice 6% bafite ifatabuguzi rya telefone cyangwa se SIM card. Ni nako kandi ubushakashatsi bwa GSMA ari nayo yateguye inama bwagaragaje ko mu mwaka wa 2004 ikoranabuhanga rya 4G ryageraga ku bantu miliyoni 200, abarenga miliyoni 40 bakaba barafunguye konti zabo ku mbuga nkoranyambaga, naho porogaramu zo mu matelefone zigera ku bihumbi 30 zikora neza zakorewe muri Afurika. Ngayo nguko rero ibyaranze iri fungurwa ku mugaragaro ry'inama yiga ku ikoreshwa rya telefone ndetse na serivisi zayo igiye kumara iminsi 3. Umukuru w'igihugu akaba nyuma yo gufungura inama ku mugaragaro yanagiranye ikiganiro kigufi cyagarutse n'ubundi ku ishusho abona rijyanye n'ikoranabuhanga muri Afurika ariko no mu Rwanda by'umwihariko, ndetse n'icyo asaba abantu. Yongera gushimangira ko guverinoma zikwiriye kongera imbaraga mu guteza imbere uru rwego, ariko nta n'umwe usigaye inyuma, yaba abagore, yaba urubyiruko, yaba abari mu byaro ndetse no mu bice byo mu mujyi. Ariko yanongeye kugaragaza ko kwegereza ibikorwa remezo by'ikoranabuhanga abatuye Afurika bikwiriye no kujyana no kongera ubumenyi bwabo mu kuyikoresha. Reka rero tubashimire, inama tubibutsa ko igiye kumara iminsi 3, kazakomeza kuyikurikira kuri televiziyo Rwanda.